Please welcome to the stage, Mr. Ron White.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Before I get started, I'm going to ask you a question. I lost my sunglasses the other day. I went to the sunglass hut. Here's the question. Why does a pair of sunglasses cost more than a 25-inch color television set? Anybody know? I go into the sunglass hut. I see a pair of glasses I like. I don't love them. I like them. $309. And I asked the guy very politely, how do you sleep at night, you fucking prick? And I told him, and this is true, that 2 weeks ago I bought a 25-inch color television set from Walmart for $218. And he goes, well, apparently, sir, you don't get it. I'm listening. He goes, these glasses eliminate 100% of all UV rays. I'm like, no, apparently you don't get it. This thing decodes a digital satellite signal it picks up from outer fucking space. And then it turned out the glasses got basic cable and I felt like a dickhead. You ever take a crap so big your pants fit better? I'm hoping that happens to me later tonight, because these babies are snug, is what they are. Saw something that came close to truth in advertising. The De Beers people are almost saying what they really mean, folks. Because the old De Beers slogan was, diamonds are forever. Then they changed it to this year, take her breath away. The new slogan is, diamonds render her speechless. Why don't they just go ahead and say it? You know? Diamonds. That'll shut her up. For a minute. So it's great to be alive, isn't it, folks? I think so. I almost died last year. Actually, I didn't almost die. I didn't even get hurt. But, it wasn't a near-miss plane thing. I was flying from Beaumont to Houston because my manager doesn't own a Globe. I was on a plane that big, like a pack of gum with 8 people in it. We took off from the Beaumont Airport Hair Care and Tire Center there. We're traveling at half the speed of smell. We got passed by a kite. There was a goose behind us and the pilot was screaming, go around. We get halfway to Houston, we gotta go back. It's a 9-minute flight. Can't pull it off with this equipment. We had engine trouble. We lost some oil pressure in one of the engines, and they told us about it over the speaker system of the plane, which was stupid because they could have just went, hey, we lost some oil pressure. Heard ya. Sure did. It was weird. Everybody on the plane was nervous, but I'd been drinking since lunch, and I was like, take it down. I don't care. You ever have one of those days? Hit something hard. I don't want to limp away from this son of a... The guy sitting next to me is losing his mind. Apparently, he had a lot to live for. He goes, hey man, hey man, hey man, if one of these engines fails, how far will the other one take us? All the way to the scene of the crash. Which is pretty handy because that's where we're headed. I bet we beat the paramedics there by a half hour. We're hauling ass. So anyway, I was in Cincinnati last year. I did a show one night, and I came off stage. I was looking for something to eat, and across the street from the club is a place called Skyline Chili. Next door to that's a place called Gold Star Chili. Across there's Liberty Chili, Ray's Chili, Joe's Chili, Bob's Chili, chili everywhere. Now, I wasn't trying to start any shit with the little chili boy. I was making late night conversation, and I said, boy, you know, it seems like there's a whole lot of chili places here. You wouldn't think there would be, would you? And he goes, I'll have you know the Cincinnati area is the chili capital of the world. I'm like, oh, excuse me for thinking it might be Mexico City or Guadalajara. I don't even think y'all told the Mexican boys you were having a contest. That's right, because a Mexican boy come up here with a goat and an onion and kick your ass. He wouldn't even need a car. He could ride the goat up there. Of course, he'd need a lift home. Can't ride home on a bowl of goat. I've always said that. Oh, man. So, anyway. I was in Miami when Hurricane George hit the Keys a couple years ago. I just thought this was funny. They evacuated the Keys, and everybody left except for one guy who's going to stay there and tie himself to a tree on the beach to prove a point. And the point was, he said that at 53 years of age, he was in good enough physical condition to withstand the wind and the rain from a Force 3 hurricane. All right. Let me explain something to you. It isn't that the wind is blowing. It's what the wind is blowing. If you get hit with a Volvo, it doesn't really matter how many sit-ups you did that morning. If you have a yield sign in your spleen, jogging don't come into play. I can run 25 miles without stopping. You're bleeding. Shit. I drink too much. Other people learn things when I drink. Last night, a limo driver learned if I say I got a yak, it doesn't mean I have a long-haired buffalo living in my backyard. He's like, really? What do you feed it? Corn. I just spent 10 days in Los Angeles. If you ever have a chance to do that, pass. I learned things when I go to L.A. I learned this. They have bikinis now made out of seashells. I didn't know that, and I also didn't know this. If you're ever walking down the beach and you see a girl dressed in a bikini made out of seashells, and you pick her up and hold her to your ear, you can hear her scream. Who'd have thunk it? I thought I'd hear the ocean, but not over that woman. Hush, ma'am. She was a wiggler. She was a wiggler. Oh, man. L.A. changes people. That's why I don't like it. You know what I mean? I got a buddy of mine from Houston, comedian, moves to L.A. 6 months ago. 6 months in L.A. I don't know him. 6 months in L.A. Now he's a vegetarian, a humanitarian, an environmentalist. Fine, you know? If you're here tonight and you're a vegetarian, shut up. You're not going to recruit me. I didn't climb to the top of the fucking food chain to eat carrots. What are you, nuts? It's not even that good for you. You ever see a healthy-looking vegetarian? They look like shit. They're all gaunt and yellow, and you know, it's because their bodies have become intolerant of other things. You know what I mean? I'll give you an example. My buddy and I were on the way to the Melrose Improv to do a set, and he says this, and I quote, "I feel nauseous and I have a headache. I think that vegetable soup I had for lunch must have had beef broth in it." I didn't know what to say. Your system's kicking back broth? You're a manly man, aren't you? Why are you a vegetarian? I asked him, and it wasn't even because meat's bad for you. He said that raising cattle was bad for the planet, with cow flatulence in the ozone and the clearing of land for the raising of cattle. What are you doing to help the environment? I'm eating the cow. But I'm only one man. They're weird out in L.A., man. I read a thing in the paper. They said they were going to try to outlaw. This pissed me off. They're going to try to outlaw the big screen, real life handgun shooting video games because they say that that's what's wrong with the youth of America today. They're learning how to accurately shoot guns with video games. It's not a parenting problem. Oh, no. It's a video problem. They figured it out. Congratulations. Doesn't that piss you off when they have a genuine problem? You try to tack a solution to it that has nothing to do with the problem. It's a parenting problem, you know? I got a great idea. Don't outlaw those machines. Give them to the state troopers of California because they're some of the worst shots I've ever seen in my life. I saw a shootout once live on TV that went on for so long, eventually the criminal got frustrated and just shot himself. I did. And the cops are on TV whining about it, too. They're like, he's got on body armor. He's got on body armor. I'm watching it live on CNN going, I can see his head. Shoot him in the head. Give my kid a shot. How's that, Daddy? Good shot, Poot. Everybody relax. Poot took him out. Thank God Poot was there. Horrible shots. You ever see that film? It's the Eho brothers. That was their name, but they showed it on Cops a couple times where the two guys get out of that white Suburban. These guys have a shootout with the police at point blank range. Nobody gets hurt. I would love to have been at the office the next day when that guy's being interviewed by the chief. And then what happened? Well, at that point, I unloaded my semi-automatic 9mm weapon at point-blank range. And then what happened? They left. Nice shooting, Elmer Fudd. There was a kid in Michigan 3 years ago, shot 8 bullets, hit 9 people. These two cops shot 22 bullets, didn't even hit the fucking Suburban. Give those guys a roll of quarters and turn them loose. I'm probably not a typical Texan in that I don't hunt. I fish, but I don't hunt. And not because I think it might somehow be more holy to eat meat that's been bludgeoned to death by somebody else. That's not it. It's really early in the morning. It's really cold outside, and I don't want to fucking go. My cousin Ray, on the other hand, thinks killing a deer with a deer rifle is magic in the forest. I'd like to do for you now my impression of my cousin Ray after the big kill. The impression just wouldn't be accurate if I didn't smoke during the... I don't normally smoke. It's just something I do while I'm on the road to keep my... It's just something I do to keep my hands off my dick, you know what I mean? It only works on this one. It's a dick joke for the hearing impaired. Don't leave anybody out. That's my policy. I used to not even have a policy. Now I got that one. My impression of my cousin Ray after the big kill. Hell, it was 4 in the morning. 22 degrees outside. Of course, you weren't there. Pussy. I'm in a camouflage deer blind with grease paint on my face. I've got deer urine on my boots. I'm not sure why. I made that part up. I got a 30-06 with a 12-power scope and a bullet that'll travel 2,200 feet per second. When that deer looked up to lick the salt sucker I'd hung from the danged old tree, caught him right above the eye. Yeah, well, I hit one with a van. Going 55 miles an hour with the headlights on and the fucking horn blowing. Woo, that's an elusive little creature. If you ever miss one, it's because the bullet's moving too fast. Slow the bullet down to 55 miles an hour, put some headlights and a little horn on it. The deer will actually jump in front of the bullet. I married into a very, very, very wealthy family. If you ever have a choice, go ahead. At first I thought my wife was loaded, but she ain't rich at all. Her parents are loaded. And they hate my guts. And I'm waiting for them to die. And you'll know if they die too, because you'll never see my fat ass again. I'll be in Palm Springs with my new friends. Servants rich. My in-laws have servants. Is that weird? I thought when I married their daughter, they'd send a servant along with us to help do all the shit they never taught her how to do. And I was wrong. We're now leaning on her domestic skills. Ooh, she's handy. I came over doing a show the other night. She goes, "Honey, the dryer's broken." Did you check the lint filter, sweetheart? Sit down, honey. I'll check it. I open it up. She's like, is there anything in there? There's a quilt in there. Look, you made a sofa cushion. You are a handy girly-whirly. Everything's an emergency to her because she never had to deal with her own problems. I was in Atlanta one time. She calls me one night, misses me in the hotel room. They catch me in the lobby and tell me I have an emergency phone call from home. I knock over 10 people in the lobby of a very nice hotel, thinking maybe my in-laws. I call her, she tells me my dog Sluggo just took a dump on the new carpet. Shoot him. She goes, that's just like you, Ron. I have a genuine problem, and you're being sarcastic. All right, honey, I'm sorry. Put the dog on the phone. I'll talk to him. What do you want me to do? I'm in Georgia. I can't pick up the turd. Put a paper towel over it. I'll be home in a week, honey. I get home, it looks like a little campground in the living room. Somebody's having a Poopa-Palooza concert. Let him outside. He'll shit out there. I've seen him do it. So I'm happily divorced. I'll tell you what happened. Number one, you can't marry into a wealthy family. Now, I'm not an ultra wealthy family because they're always going to look at you as the guy that's supposed to be holding the piss bucket. Well, if you're not willing to hold the piss bucket, it ain't going to work. And then she got convinced in her crazy head that I had sex with this girl in Columbus, Ohio, and I did, and I'll tell you why. When you enter into a monogamous relationship with somebody, you usually do it at a point in the relationship when you're having a lot of sex. So you're willing to sign the papers. I'll only have sex with you ever, fucking ever. Well, if that person, for whatever reason, suddenly stops having sex altogether, why, you find yourself in quite a pickle. I'm a pretty good dog, but if you don't pet me every once in a while, it's hard to keep me under the porch. I'm not as flexible as a real dog. I'll tell you what happened, too. I was in Columbus, Ohio. I had been laid in 3 months. 3 months. You can't go 3 months without having sex with me. I'll go have sex with somebody else. I know. I've seen me do it. I did a show one night. I came off stage. It was a gorgeous woman, maybe 35 or 40 years old. Gorgeous. Long black dress, slid up the side. She goes, I thought you were hilarious. I want to buy you a drink. I'm like, I can't do that. I'm married. She goes, I didn't ask if you want to have sex, big boy. I asked if you want to have a drink at my place. All right. Well, you know that little guy that sits on your shoulder that reminds you of your prior commitments and your moral fortitude? I didn't hear a peep out of that guy. He hadn't been laid in 3 months either. He was speechless for like 20 minutes. He was like, suck her titty. I'm like, what? I was gonna. As soon as the whole thing's over, he's back at his post. That was wrong, mister. I'm like, hey, 20 minutes ago, you were beating off on my shoulder, monkey boy. fucking hate him, man. He smokes pot. He burned a hole in my other jacket. Right before the show. So anyway, goodness gracious. I was having an argument about Bin Laden with somebody the other day. And the argument came up because the country said that if they caught him, they wouldn't extradite him to a state in the United States that had the death penalty. And I'm like, I don't care. And my buddies all bent out of shape about it. I'll blow the towel off his head. Because that's who I hang out with. And it bent him out of shape that I wasn't upset about it. He goes, how come you ain't upset? I know you're pro-death penalty. How come that don't make you mad? You know, I'll tell you why it doesn't make me mad. Because spiritually, Osama Bin Laden is prepared to die for Islam. But I guarantee you spiritually, Osama Bin Laden is ill-prepared to lick jelly out of Thunder Dick's butt crack. I hate grape jelly. Shut up and lick my butt. And you got to do a good job, too, because you're in this till Thunder Dick comes. It ain't just a nah, there I did it. No, you got to try. You got to tickle the inside of Thunder Dick's thigh. You got to fondle Thunder Dick's nut sack a little bit. Because if you don't make him come pretty quick, you're going to run out of jelly. Comedy's not always pretty, folks. Every once in a while, somebody will get tongue fucked in the ass right in the middle of a humorous situation. I promised Sears I would tell this story on stage every night until the lawsuit settled. I had my van down in Savannah, Georgia. I bought this big two-story custom van back when I was married. I forgot to tell you this. It was kind of cool. I had the James Bond couch in the back where you push a button and the couch in the back automatically turns into a bed. I'm like, well, that's cool. I finally got something over those Mercedes-Benz driving in-laws of mine. You know what I mean? When I first bought the van, I was real proud of it, and I took it straight over to my brother-in-law's house to show it off because he's such a prick. And he takes one look at my new van. He goes, I can't believe you didn't buy a Mercedes-Benz. Like they don't make a van. Ron, I don't think you fully understand the intricacies of Mercedes-Benz engineering. Why, I got the 3-inch windshield wiper that keeps my headlight clean in a rainstorm. I got a place to fuck your sister. I don't know why they didn't like me. Anyway, I had the van down in Savannah, Georgia. I didn't like the way the tires were wearing on it. I took the van to Sears Automotive, a trusted name in automotive service. Takes them 3.5 hours to change 4 tires. Apparently they had to whittle one of them out of a piece of wheat. I pay them $580 of my hard-earned money. I take a right-hand turn out of the mall. The left rear wheel falls off. It falls off. It falls the fuck off. Turning my van into a tripod. Spinning me into a dimension of pissed off I've never been in before in my life. This guy was a tire guy. That's all he did. He didn't some days work on transmissions. He was a tire guy. Sears, I found out later, had sent him to Tire College for 3 days. Well, apparently he was sick on Lug Nut Day. But they still let him work on my van. So I'm suing them, and I hope that next year they have to change the name of Sears Tower in Chicago to Ron White's big old fucking building. You guys can all come over and party, too. I'm gonna have a lot of room. Think we ought to clean up, Ron? Fuck no. Move to another floor. Will Conga up there. Somebody grab my butt. The thing with Sears wasn't as painful as buying the car in the first place because I had to talk to a car salesman to get it. Nobody else sells cars. I believe if somebody asked me, Ron. Sometimes it's hard to get my attention. Ron, would you rather spend 2 hours of your life talking to a car salesman? Or would you rather be drugged naked over a cactus with your mouth over the tailpipe of a Greyhound bus? Or would you rather sandpaper the asshole of an alligator in a phone booth? What was that second one again? If you're here tonight and you're a car salesman, I'll show you where you are on the food chain. Here's the whole universe on a mic stand. Right about there would be a flabby hunk of whale shit. There's you, right there. Oh, look, a lawyer. Hey, there's my lawyer. There's my first wife. There's her mother. And there's that asshole that didn't put the lug nuts back on my goddamn van. And there's Bud Adams. What are you doing under there, Bud? I got thrown out of a bar in New York City. Now, when I say I got thrown out of a bar, I don't mean somebody asked me to leave and we walked to the door together and I said, bye, everybody, I gotta go. 6 bouncers hurled me out of a nightclub like I was a frisbee. Those big old bouncers that go home every night, watch Roadhouse, and beat off. You know what I'm talking about? Patrick Swayze's hitting another guy. For wearing a hat. I walk into a bar with a hat on. This guy real pissy goes, take off the hat! I'm like, what's the deal? He goes, I'll tell you what the deal is. Faggots in this area wear hats. We're trying to keep them out of our club. I'm like, oh, really? The only way we can tell down in Texas is if they have their hair cut like yours. And he got all pissed. But he walked away, and like an hour later, I'd been drinking, and I forgot. You ever forget? Happened to me. I put the hat back on. The guy comes over to me. Now, I'm between 6'1" and 6'6", depending on which convenience store I'm leaving. I weigh 235 pounds. This guy comes over to me, poking me in the shoulder with 2 fingers, says, you're out of here. I'm like, I don't think so, fucker. And I was wrong. They hurled my ass. And then they squared off with me in the parking lot, and I backed down from the fight because I don't know how many of them it would have taken to whip my ass. But I knew how many they were going to use. That's a handy little piece of information to have right there. Overkill. Well, they called the police because we broke a chair on the way out the door, and I refused to pay for it. I refused to pay for it because we broke it over my thigh. The cop showed up, and at that point, I had the right to remain silent, but I didn't have the ability. Cop says, Mr. White, you are being charged with drunk in public. I was like, hi. I was drunk in a bar. They threw me into public. I don't want to be drunk in public. I want to be drunk in a bar, which is perfectly legal. Arrest them. Well, he didn't arrest them. Instead, he made me do a field sobriety test where you stand on one foot, raise the other foot 6 inches off the ground, and count to 30. I made it to woo. Is that going to be close enough? Well, it wasn't close enough, so they call in for my arrest record. There's some good news. Satellites are linking up in outer space. Computer banks at NASA are kicking on. There's a telegraph in Deer Park going beep, 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 beep. This part takes a while. Shorthand. Beep. Now, I told you that story to tell you this story. When I was 17 years old, I was arrested for being drunk in public. Seemed to be a pattern. If you knew Morse code, you'd already know that. We get it. And one DWI, which was a bogus charge because it turns out they were stopping every vehicle traveling down that particular sidewalk, and that's... Hell, that's profiling, isn't it? And profiling is wrong. On the drunken public charge in Deer Park, the arresting officer, who I had literally known all my life. You know what I mean? This guy lived 4 doors down from me in a town of less than 3,000 people at the time. We've met. He takes me to jail, and when we get there, he asks me if I have any aliases. I was just being a smart ass. Said, yeah, they call me Tater Salad. 17 years later in New York City, I'm handcuffed on a bench with blood coming out of my nose, and this cop goes, "Are you Ron Tater Salad? What?" You caught me. You caught the tater. You can take down those roadblocks now. I call my son Tater Tot. Thanks for playing along. I hope you enjoyed it. You guys are a great crowd. Thank you.